Hello and welcome to the shortest podcast ever of
Sisters of the Holy Fiber. My name is Defin, also known as Rambunctious Guy.
And I'm Heather, also known as Tiny Kiwi. So grab your knitting or crochet or whatever you're working on and join us while we craft and chat super fast, speedy style.
What are you working on this week?
I haven't worked on my sock. I have been working on the Miss Jane's hat that I set aside, I don't even know how long ago.
The cable one?
Yes,
Yay!
that you finally helped me figure out the cable boo-boo. So I've been totally enjoying working on this, because I would rather be working on a cable right now than a sock that I hate. I hate you, sock. So that's what I've been working on. What about you?
I've been working on my shawl again.
The never-ending shawl.
Oh, it's gonna end.
Okay. It better end.
So the last time I talked to you guys, I was right about here-ish. So I've added quite a bit.
Yes.
These needles are not long enough, so it's just all bunched up on there, but I'm going to try and space it out so you can see. It's kind of like this little cathedral tower is what I have made so far.
Oh, that looks nice.
So that part of it is, here, I think that's the middle-ish. I think that's what you guys haven't seen so far, but you will see that I am now working with stitch markers. I mark the repeats with, but this is something I'm going to talk about later. Never mind.
Okay.
So yes, that's what I'm working on. And I'm on the third color of 4 colors.
Oh, okay.
But the fourth one, the edging color, has more in the skein than the other ones. So
Great.
I'm not quite, I think I'm over halfway through. I hope I'm over halfway through.
Yeah, I was going to say, hopefully we are.
That's all I'm working on.
Bigger. I don't have any FOs, do you?
Nope. Moving right
Okay.
along. Brainy moments. Okay, I was going to talk about this anyway, so here I go.
Okay. Fastest ever. Pew!
Whee! So oftentimes it will say in a pattern to use a stitch marker, between repeats.
Right.
And in this pattern, the stitch marker goes right here. You don't really need to know that. But, a lot of people use their stitch markers and they put it on their knitting, and so then it moves around, and then you have to move it when you're knitting and stuff. So I don't really like that because I feel like the yarn in between the stitch markers, I use a little bit more yarn as it goes over the stitch marker.
Yes.
So I'm not, and I don't like how it feels. I don't like holding it with the stitch markers in it. It's not what I like. But I've done things like that before where I have used stitch markers in that way. But usually what I do is I just use safety pins. Mm-hmm. And I leave it, the very first time I needed to make it, I just leave it down there. So I know, this is where the repeat is, right up here.
Mm-hmm.
And then I use a different color for the beginning of the round. So I only have one blue one, and this one's my beginning of the round one. So I know that in this particular pattern, in these little columns, there's a purl stitch in the middle. So I know this purl stitch over this blue one is the beginning of my round.
Right.
However, I know this doesn't work for a lot of people. You have to be really good at reading your knitting and knowing and I'm always, because I do that, but then I'm also always counting to make sure that I have the right number of stitches in between each repeat. Right. And it's also kind of learning, I wouldn't be able to do this if it wasn't a repeat, but it's a 20 stitch repeat, and there's only that one purl stitch in the middle, it marks the repeats.
Right.
So I know how many stitches I need in between the two.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I was just thinking that, you have to be able to read your knitting to do that kind of stitch marker, and, I don't know if I'd be able to do that. I've done that before when I was trying to do a sock, knit a flat sock, and that seemed to work okay for that, but I never finished the sock, so I can't really say. I'm starting to see a theme. Socks. I don't finish them.
I'm starting to see a theme as well.
Yeah, I think I really need to do the whole 2 at a time, toe up 2 at a time, like everybody says, you know. Well, not everybody. Everybody's got their own way of doing socks, but definitely 2 at a time. I'm starting to see the benefit of it. Yeah.
All right. Are you working on anything else?
Nope.
Or that was brainy moments. Do you have a brainy moment?
I do not.
Okay. Hyperventilate. Geeky things you're excited about this week.
It's not a geeky thing.
But you looked excited. Candyland! Dip dab!
I love dip dabs. Send me all your dip dabs. Yeah. That's what I'm excited about. Which is really silly, because it's just a simple little lolly candy with fizzy stubs. But I love it.
Exciting,
and you can't buy it here anywhere. Drives me crazy. Why don't they bring dip dabs over?
I don't know.
This is what happens. Like I buy a few dip dabs at the market once a year that comes by, and then in the middle of the year when I don't have dip dabs, I am so tempted to buy the box of 100. Not like I need 100 dip dabs, but anyway, that's what I'm excited about. This is fastest episode ever, so moving on.
I don't have any hyperventilate. Moving right along to shiny.
You first.
I bought a wedding dress. Yay! I will find if I had my phone, I could show you all.
Oh, wow.
I'm not, like, I barely bought a wedding dress that looks like a wedding dress, so I'm not, like, super into, like...
the wedding scene?
Yeah, I'm just not... I don't believe in going into debt.
You just believe in the Jane Austen era wedding dress idea, that it should also be a dress that you could wear for your Sunday best or whatever. It needs to have a second purpose.
Yes. So here it is in all of its prettiness. It has a lace on top. I don't know what that collar is called. Like that swoop? Sweetheart? It's got a sweetheart swoop, I think, in the front. And then it goes down at the waist. Kind of Grecian-esque.
Yeah.
Vintage-esque.
It's really ironic that you did pick something that's kind of Jane Austen-esque.
And no one is surprised.
Not a person, not a soul was surprised.
Yeah. I tried on a lot of different styles, but that one was the one that fit me the best and looked the best. And that I liked the best, so I got that one. Do you have any shiny?
I do. One of the ladies in the knitting group made me this beauteous scarf. So,
aww, yay!
It's really lovely. Let me turn it so you can see the Ravelry goodness. You can't see it? You can see it. Oh. It's very ridgy. It looks kind of like, I like it. It looks like an animal carapace or something.
Mm-hmm. It's a really cool pattern.
So one of the other ladies made this pattern, and we don't know how she did it, but the yarn overs were so random. It was like, it looked like bubbles going through the scarf, and she was like having so much trouble with the pattern.
Mm-hmm.
And we thought that was the way that the pattern was supposed to be, so this other lady made it, and she's like, this doesn't look anything like that first one. So she was like totally disappointed that it wasn't all random and mistaked. And the first lady's on vacation, so we're not going to be able to ask her, what in the world did you do? So she wasn't happy with this. So I was like, you know what? I love it. I'll take it. And so she's like,
I love it. It's so pretty.
I know, isn't it? It's so nice.
And I like how she didn't like it, but she kept going long enough to like make it a scarf.
I know, right? It's wonderful.
So funny.
I know, but I love it, so I'm not complaining. So now I have another scarf. And the other thing I have is Mr. Opus.
Oh, yay!
Anchovy paste. So we're big fans of Outland and what's the other names of the comics he did?
Well, I don't think we fully said Opus and Bill.
Oh, yes.
By...
Opus and Bill from Outland by Berkeley Breeze? Nobody knows how to say his last name, sorry. I've never heard a definitive source say how to say his last name, but
and I apologize to you all if you can hear my cat meowing in the background. She wants to come in, but she's not allowed right now.
Politically and fashionably... Wait, politically... What does this say? politically, fashionably, and aerodynamically incorrect.
Yes.
That's one of the comics. This is from an old comic. You might know it if you read the papers back in the day, maybe the 80s and stuff, when this comic was still running. But we're big fans of it in our house.
Yes.
And the Christmas special, A Wish for Wings That Work, which is totally cute and a family favorite.
Mm-hmm. That's what we watched. Everybody else was watching Charlie Brown Christmas and all those other White Christmas or whatever. I don't know. We were watching Opus and Village for Wings That Work.
Because we're very strange in our family.
Yes. Okay.
Anyway, so that's all I have for Shiny. Pew!
Pew! Moving right along to books. I have been reading things. I will share with you what I have been reading. So I felt like reading books about lesbians. I do this once in a while. There is a literary award called the Lambda Literary Award for all things gay, and they have lots of different categories like gay fiction, lesbian nonfiction, bisexual fiction, bisexual nonfiction,
etc.
Bisexual poetry, bisexuals dancing with tutus. I don't know. Like they got all kinds of categories.
It's a very specific genre.
So these three are things that two of them are. No, this one I found because of that list. This is called My Education. It's by Susan Choi. I think this one won the award for bisexual fiction. I'm not sure. But it is so good. She writes, like, her sentences are just so good.
Is it a graphic novel, or is it...
No. This is just like a novel.
The cover made it look like it was graphic novel. That's why I was asking.
Oh, I have another one that's a graphic novel. So maybe you saw that one then.
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay. Anyway. I don't know. If I had thought about it, I would have picked out a sentence, but I didn't.
No worries.
So, I recommend it if you are not of a dainty sort. It has some undaintiness in it.
Yeah.
But like I said, I mean, just the writing is just so good in it.
Good writing is always worthwhile.
Yeah. I think the way the novel wraps up is, but the novel itself is good. This is Oranges Are Not the Only Fruit by Jeanette Winterson. This one's kind of a classic of lesbian fiction. It's one of the first ones that came out, where, they end up happy.
Yeah.
But
for those who do not know, originally most of I'd say all of the gay fiction always ended up with the main gay people unhappy.
Right. So it was the way that it would be published. So the publishers, one of the ways that they would get around it is they would say, well, we could publish this, but they need to end up unhappy. Otherwise, we're gonna feel the heat,
You
so
can't
then
be happy
everything
and gay.
should be happy, and then suddenly somebody dies, or like whatever. And Pulp Fiction is like that. Like a lot of the gay Pulp Fiction from the 50s. Anyway, so this book, the main character is she's adopted by an evangelical family. And so it's about her, like, in the first part, she's, like, super into that world. And it talks about, like, growing up as an evangelical and, like, wanting to put Jesus on everything. And your classmates going, like, what?
Yeah.
So, but then, eventually she falls in love with a girl and, like, what happens with that and stuff like that. So, it was interesting. I read this while on 2 red-eye flights, so I don't really remember it that well, but I did read it. My last one is, I found this, they have a graphic novel section of the new part in my library, so I was just, like, looking through, and I was like, what? Blue is the warmest color! That is apparently it was adapted from this. There's a movie out of the same name.
Oh, okay.
And it's gotten a lot of hoopla about the sex scene in it because of the way the director did it and stuff. So yes, there's sex in this. Not safe for work in any sort of stretch of the imagination. Or for children at all. But I really liked the graphic novel. It's depressing. I mean, it starts out, you know it's going to be depressing in the first, like, 2 pages. She's, like, going
the
back
title
to...
hints at it.
She's, like, going back to her partner's apartment who's died.
Oh.
Like, that's what happens in the first 2 pages. So I didn't give anything away there. But I really like the art and the style. And, you know, and it's about the main character... you know, discovering that she's gay, and, you know, her parents, of course, don't like it, but she's met this girl, you know, and can't get her out of her head. So it's about the two of them. It was really good. I liked it. I would recommend looking it out. It only took me, you know, a couple hours to get through it.
Do you like the book more than the movie? Did you see the movie?
I haven't seen the movie.
Okay.
Yet. I think it's on Netflix, so I'm going to check it out, but I haven't yet.
So is that all your books?
That's all my books.
Okay. So I finished Lexicon by Max Berry. I'm looking at you. I really liked it because the writing is completely different from what I'm like used to reading. It's almost like science fiction, but it's supposed to be set in the future where words can actually like kill you. Like a string, like they've, you know, plumbed into the depths of our brains and figured out what phrases will control you, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's linguistic and like mind control, but it's, you know, set in the somewhat-ish future. Mm-hmm. But it's really good. It's an NPR Best Book of the Year.
Oh, cool.
So it's Time Magazine Top 10 Fiction Book of the Year. I would have never found this by myself. But it's really good. I like it. And it, despite everything, it ends up happy.
Hey.
Which you really don't feel like it will, because the whole novel is a bunch of sadness.
Mm.
And it kind of unfolds as you find out more and more, you know, you're like, oh, this person's trying to kill them, and then, oh, but this person had something else happen to them, and, you know, like the stories of their present and past kind of meld together. It's really good. And like I said, the writing style is good. It's just completely different from what I'm used to. It's kind of like very short, choppy sort of phrases, you know, that drag you along instead of like, la la la, we're reading it, you know. So,
mm-hmm.
I enjoyed it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other one I'm reading right is Longburn. Longburn. Let me get a picture of her. This is by Joe Baker.
Mm-hmm.
And it's basically the story of the servants in the Bennett household during the Pride and Prejudice. And I usually hate books that are not written in this time period. That are, you know, oh, this is what happens afterward. And I'm like, Your writing is horrible. Your history is poorly researched. I'm not impressed. Right. But this one I actually am. It still is written much more modern. It's not trying to be a period novel. But it talks about a lot of the actual like historical things that you have to deal with, like blisters and dirty diapers.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really enjoying it.
Nice.
So, and at the beginning of each chapter, it has like a quote from the original Pride and Prejudice, and then it sort of like takes that and elaborates on what's going on with the servants at the time that, you know, the people of the household are doing this other thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I've just gotten to the part where Wickham's in the scene, and it's not good.
Mr. Wickham!
Mr. Wickham! There we go. Here, the beginning of this chapter says, the business of her life was to get her daughters married. Its solace was visiting and news. So then that one focuses on Mrs. Bennet and being a servant to Mrs. Bennet and things like that.
Cool.
But it's really good so far, so I'm hoping it will stay good.
Yay!
Yay! So it's
really
very nice to have another Jane Austen book that I'm excited about.
Mm-hmm.
And I really love history, so that's fun.
Yay!
Yay!
Alright, I Spy. We were gone for a little bit because I was in Boston, so I have some things to show you from Boston. These, I looked them up. Their common name is balloon flower. I have a bigger picture of it too. So these are a 5-petal purple flower, and before they open, their petals are kind of like, when they're closed, they look like a balloon, and then they open up. So I have a picture of what that looks like too. So here's two of them. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, but...
Oh, yeah.
So that one is open at the top, and then that one there is a closed one.
Reminds me of... Well, the name reminds me of bladderpod.
So they were very pretty. I like them a lot. And then I saw Canadian geese in the lily pond. And they had a couple of teenagers with them.
Yeah.
So that was cute. Okay, that's all I saw. What did you see lately?
Oh, good gracious. What didn't I see? I would say baby ducks, but they're not really babies anymore. They're like teenager ducks. But they still had like down. They haven't got their real feathers yet, so they were still adorable.
Aww.
Because I saw those at the Japanese garden that we went to. And they were swimming around. Mm-hmm. I saw a really beautiful, like, goldfish that had, those sort of looks like lacy fins, so he was like, whoosh, whoosh, and looking very cute. Like, and usually I'm like, whoosh, fish, whatever. Whoosh. Yeah, exactly. But he was like, he looked like a little mud skipper the way he was, like, going along the bottom with his, like, fancy fins. Mm-hmm. So, very cute. Oh, gosh, I feel like I've seen everything and now I can't remember anything. Phoebe's, of course. I've seen nothing but Phoebe. Oh, bush tits. So cute. Oh, they're so cute. Ooh. So fluffy. I don't know. I've seen so many other things. Moreton Bay figs. A whole bunch of different kinds of palm trees. I've been getting back into palm trees, so the wonderful wide world of palm trees. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to remember all the names for everything, so that's been exciting. Plumbago. Nobody cares about plumbago. Because it's a weedy plant.
Moving right along in our fast episode here.
Yes.
Ear Party. What have you been listening to?
You first.
Okay, I've just been listening to more Patsy Cline. Been Patsy Cline all the time around here. Oh, although I did take a class in African drumming, so it's really more Ewe drumming. What's been going around in my mind.
That's awesome.
That's why I was in Boston. I took a class. It's on African drumming. It wasn't African drumming. It was drumming of the Ewe people from Ghana. So it's very specific learning about that type of music and the kind of drum language that is associated with that. So that's really what I've been studying. Cool. And but also Patsy Cline and her song Loose Talk is what I've been listening to most. So your turn.
All Patsy Cline all the time. Mm-hmm. I've been listening to Sia, who's the songwriter for, well, she writes songs for everyone, but she's written songs for Rihanna and I forget who else, all the famous people. But she put out an album of her own stuff. She's not touring or promoting it or anything. Mm-hmm. And that's cool. Because sure, she's got enough money to last forever and not have to worry about a thing. But anyway, I've been really enjoying her music. So, it's pop. So, it is what it is. But it's fun. Mm-hmm. And then, the other thing, I gotta reach in front of you. I went to Amoeba, and I got this depressing CD.
Catatonia.
Yes. This is Catatonia, Dethroned and Uncrowned. It's, like, metal. So, doesn't really go along with knitting and gentle things. But anyway, I haven't had a chance to listen to it yet, because my CD player's dead. Beep. So I gotta wait till I can listen to it in the car. Beep. But I'm excited, because I love Catatonia. They have such a wide variety of sounds. They've been around for so long, so. Exciting.
Cool.
I'll let you know how I like it. I haven't listened to it anyway.
Awesome. Moving right along. Here we go. Pew! Walks in the urban wilderness. How has your exercise been? Yeah, well, me too.
Yeah. I got a little extra exercise in because I walked to a park that's kind of far from me.
Mm-hmm.
So that's probably a mile away.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a mile and a half, if I'm being generous. But other than that, just the same old working in the garden. Nothing extraneous.
Well, I haven't done anything either, so there we goes that segment. Let's do better next week, okay? Handshake. Okay.
And we're done.
And that's anything random for this week?
My life is random.
Oh, I do have a random. It's right here.
Okay. Awesome.
I got this card. It's a greeting card. It's beige. It's just like a beige card, and on the front it says in block letters, "Caffeine is the foundation of my food pyramid."
Pretty cute.
So I have a friend that this is perfect for, so I got
Awesome.
it for whenever I need a card for her. I have the perfect one.
Oh, I thought of something random. I cut all my hair off.
Oh, you did! I
Yes,
forgot because it's up and stuff.
Yeah. I cut all my hair off, donated it.
Yay.
Super happy. Yay, the end. So I think that's probably it. Sorry. Fastest episode ever! Yay!
Woo!
So, what's our
Sisters,
address?
if you would like show notes, we have them. They are at sistersoftheholyfiber.wordpress.com. And we have a Rav group, and come and leave us a comment if you feel like it. And I think that's it.
That's probably it.
Thanks for stopping by.